tractor horsepower has been increasing steadily through the years. But the only way a tractor can exert its pulling power is through its tires. And just as tractors themselves have changed and improved over the years, so have tires. A few years ago, a new kind of tire construction came on the scene, the radial tire. Its internal construction is sharply different from the familiar bias ply tire. Cords in the tire's layers of fabric run from bead to bead at right angles to the direction of rotation. Recently, radials have been put to work on farm tractors. This new kind of tire construction is winning solidly growing popularity. Farm operators who have used ag radial tires report a long list of advantages that add up to improved performance. A bigger footprint that means better traction or bite, better transfer of torque, more tractor horsepower converted to working horsepower, improved flotation, less soil compaction, more drawbar pull, fewer tire failures, longer tire life, improved roadability, and greater operator comfort from less vibration and bouncing, more stability. To learn what these factors mean to tractor performance, Allis Chalmers conducted extensive testing in cooperation with the Armstrong Rubber Company, a pioneer in radial tire construction and particularly agricultural applications. In conducting these tests, every effort was made to ensure the greatest accuracy. Identical tractors, set up identically in every respect, pulled identical min-till conservation tillage tools. Tests were run both in unplowed and disked soil. Then the tools were exchanged between the tractors, and the tests were repeated to even out any possible differences. All tractors were new Allis Chalmers Model 8070s with 170 PTO horsepower. Two were equipped with mechanical front-wheel drive, one had radial tires all around, one bias ply tires. The others were two-wheel drive models with dual rear wheels. One had radial tires on the rear axle, and one had bias ply. Tests were all conducted over measured courses 1,000 feet long. In the most basic of the comparisons, the performance of radial tires was compared with that of bias ply tires. Two-wheel drive tractors with duals were matched up. The only difference, the tractor on your left has radial tires on its rear axle. The one on your right has bias plies. In each event, the highly skilled operators kept a sharp eye on their tachometers and with preset implements maintained the load at rated engine speed. When the leading tractor reached the finish line, the operators signaled the other tractor to stop. Both operators ran stopwatches on their runs, and both tractors were equipped with wheel revolution counters. In all tests, elapsed time and wheel revolutions were virtually identical, so the only significant difference was in the amount of ground covered, and that relates directly to acres per hour, one of the most important factors there is in determining farm productivity. The results? In this test, the two-wheel drive tractor with radials covered 1,000 feet of unplowed ground, while the one with bias tires traveled only 948 feet. That's a difference of 5.2% with a 19% reduction in wheel slip for radial tires. The difference on ground that had been disked was 2.9% and 12% less wheel slip with radials. Next, radial and bias ply tires were compared on tractors with front-wheel drive. The tractor on your left has radial tires all around. The one on the right has bias ply tires. Again, in unplowed soil, the difference was 52 feet, or 5.2%, with a measured reduction in wheel slip for radials of 33%. In soil that had been disked, the difference was 5%, with 25% less wheel spin for radials. When the results were averaged for all the tests of radial tires against bias ply, radial tires showed an average advantage of 5% more ground covered. Next, tests were conducted to determine the difference in performance between an Allis Chalmers front-wheel drive model with single wheels at the rear and a two-wheel drive unit with duals. All tires on these test tractors were bias ply. The results were clear. In unplowed ground, the front-wheel drive tractor covered 4.7% more ground with 12% less wheel slip. And in ground that had been disked, the difference was 9.2% with a 25% reduction in wheel slip. Averaging all tests, including exchanging tillage tools, the conclusion was reached that front-wheel drive outperforms two-wheel drive by 6%. In one final test, a front-wheel drive tractor with radial tires was matched against a two-wheel drive model with bias ply tires. The tractors lined up, made their runs as in all the other tests, and when the results were in, the difference recorded was the largest of any in this series of tests. In unplowed ground, the front-wheel drive tractor with radial tires covered 9.8% more ground than the two-wheel drive model with bias tires, with a 43% reduction in tire slip. In ground that had been disked, the difference was 12.2% in ground covered, with a 52% reduction in wheel slip. With all tests taken together, the averages showed that front-wheel drive tractors with radials outperformed two-wheel drive tractors with dual bias ply tires by a substantial 11%. Truly an impressive difference. But performance in acres per hour is just one part of the equation. Other factors should also be considered. For instance, radial tires normally have tread depths 15% greater than bias ply tires. That, plus new rubber compounds and reduced wheel slip, can add up to some 30% greater tread life. That often shows up at trade-in time, so resale value is most likely higher. In addition, recent radial tire tests at North Dakota State University indicate a marked difference in fuel economy, some 4 cents per acre. The university calculated that these fuel savings alone would pay back the price difference of radials in 945 hours, about 2 years' work for the average tractor. Adding up all these factors, performance, fuel economy, tread life, and resale value, it's easy to see that radial tires are well worth their extra price. Whether you're in the market for a front-wheel drive or two-wheel drive tractor, you'll get better performance, better return on your investment if you equip it with radial tires. Radial tires for farm tractors. Worthwhile partners in productivity for your Allis Chalmers tractor.